Well, it's time now for a look at the day's top business news, and for that, I'm joined in the studio by France 24's Brian Quinn. Hi, Brian.
Hey, Axie.
Now, we're starting with natural gas here in Europe. All eyes on wholesale prices after Russia cut off supplies to both Poland and Bulgaria.
Indeed, wholesale natural gas prices here in Europe are now roughly 6 times higher than they were just a year ago, and they are projected to double this year amid a deepening energy war between Russia and the West. European gas benchmark Dutch TTF closed yesterday up some 5%. Thursday's open saw it fall back 6% amid reports that some of Europe's biggest energy companies are preparing to meet Russia's demand that they open ruble-denominated accounts at Russian energy giant Gazprom's banking subsidiary in order to pay for their deliveries. Dutch TTF is currently down around 1.3% from Wednesday's close, but it is creeping back upward. From energy to agriculture, the war in Ukraine is contributing to price hikes that are driving decades-high inflation rates around the world. On Wednesday, the European Commission suspended all tariffs and quotas on Ukrainian imports for a full year. President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia is deliberately using inflation in an attempt to divide the West. Here he is.
Sufficient exports of our products to European and global markets will be a significant anti-crisis tool. Russia's trying to provoke a global price crisis to start chaos in all basic markets and especially in the food markets. Ukrainian exports will help stabilize the markets.
Turning to the stock markets next, European indexes opening higher as earnings season rolls on. First quarter profit at British lender Barclays nearly doubling analyst expectations, that helping to send London's FTSE 100 higher. The CAC 40 here in Paris opening up over 1.1%, now back to around 0.75% in the green. Asian indexes gaining on Thursday as well. The Nikkei in Tokyo up 1.75% as a falling yen and better than expected retail sales figures boost shares there. The Bank of Japan saying Thursday that it will keep interest rates at or below zero and continue its massive stimulus program. Chinese markets with a roller coaster day as COVID lockdown fears hit alongside the announcement of a major infrastructure push from President Xi Jinping to send shares in opposite directions. Hong Kong's Hang Seng up around 1.1%. Next, disgraced financier Bill Hwang pleaded not guilty to charges of fraud and other financial crimes in New York on Wednesday. The South Korean-born investor's family office, Archegos Capital, spectacularly imploded in March of last year, losing a staggering $20 billion over the course of just 10 days, leaving Hwang's creditors on the hook for some $10 billion of that. Archegos had used borrowed funds to amass huge positions in a limited number of stocks, sending those share prices skyrocketing, based in large part on demand created by its own massive trades. The result was a financial house of cards that collapsed when a new share issue by Viacom CBS triggered a cascade of margin calls from Archegos' lenders. U.S. prosecutors say Hwang lied to his banks in order to increase credit lines that were used to bid up the shares. Take a listen here.
The integrity of our markets matter. The investing public needs and must have confidence that the stock that they are buying is not being inflated or deflated, for that matter, by artificial forces. This case underscores how the actions of just one firm can have far-reaching market implications.
And finally, for business, Russia's war in Ukraine is causing shortages of a number of commodities, including sunflower oil. Here in France, the government is authorizing food companies to change their recipes without altering their packaging. Ellen Gainsford explains.
In France, it's just got harder to tell what's really in your packet of crisps. French authorities have temporarily loosened packaging rules following the shortage of sunflower oil due to the war in Ukraine. Now, companies can change their product without immediately altering the ingredients list. A lack of transparency that bothers Food Watch.
The customer must have information about what they are consuming at the moment that they buy it. Simply putting it online will obviously not be enough to inform people.
Manufacturers now have 2 months to highlight a change. And even then, they don't have to be precise about what's being used as a substitute. To replace sunflower oil, the food industry can use rapeseed oil or even palm oil, a product that's responsible for significant deforestation.
I find palm oil very problematic. Its use bothers me fundamentally. It's a question of resources. If it endangers an ecosystem, it's inconceivable to use it.
Manufacturers have a 6-month window before they have to completely overhaul their packaging and indicate the list of new ingredients. According to the Economy Ministry, around 1,000 products could currently be marked inaccurately. Before the war, Ukraine produced around 50% of the world's sunflower oil. Now its exports are disrupted, there's a global shortage, and industries in France and elsewhere are scrambling to adapt.
Going for alternative oils. Can you taste sunflower oil? I don't know if does sunflower oil have a taste.
You can.
Can you? Really?
Yeah, you can taste the difference.
My unrefined palate.
Good
noticed.
excuse, a good excuse for us to start trying various different types of French crisp brands. Brian Quinn with a look through the day's business news. Thank you very much.